We're going to go right into our quarterly volunteer ceremony. The soldier volunteer is First Sergeant Campbell, but he's unable to be with us today. So we'll go into the family member, Miss Jessica Dunn. Our youth volunteer of the quarter, Takisha Bryant. If you read the AFAP conference, that was our AFAP reporter.
It's the end.
And our unit volunteer of the quarter, 3-2 GSAP. They put in over 1,100 hours this quarter. Let's give all of our volunteers a big round of applause. Next, we have some community awards, recognition for excellent service providers. We'll start off with the Director of Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. United Services Organization. Army Community Services. Retirement Services Office.
Well, so thanks to all the volunteers we recognize and all those we didn't who've done so many great things, and to those community organizations that we recognize. Just a couple of awards. MWR does a lot, but we recognize them especially for the athletic events they've been putting on, a great start to the youth sports this fall, as well as the Oktoberfest a couple of weeks ago, Don. That was great. Thanks to your team. To HCS for the AFAP, and Dave, let me borrow that one.
And to the Retirement Services Office, thanks for that Retiree Appreciation Day. That was first class. So to USO, I think you've gotten more than one of those, but you know, the Rock on the Lawn was first class. Well done. Thanks for adding that to the portfolio. And again, you know, to our AFAP reporter, to our family member of the quarter, to 3-2, congratulations for the recognition. 1,100 hours for 3-2. That's really impressive in a quarter. And I'll make sure to tell Colonel Rowell what a great job you guys did. Thanks, Jim. All right, Dave, back to you.
All right, we'll start with DPTMS, please, for the update.
Next slide. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Cox, Director of DPTMS. The slide up there in front of you is a snapshot of the various communication forums and venues we use to push out community information to the base population. If I could, I'd like to highlight that top one. The newcomers briefing has now changed locations. It's now at the Super Gym. That's a change from the ACS building, so please help us get that word out. Meet the command group, second one from the bottom. 1 November is our next one. That's where Colonel Moore, Command Sergeant Major Gray, Mr. Frosman set up their office right there in the PX area in the food court and address any concerns or anything from the soldiers or family members. And the last one is the our next town hall, 10 January, since it's a quarterly event. Next slide. First bullet you see there, civil defense drills. Those are the unannounced drills. We actually conducted one earlier today. Those help us better prepare you as a community and the actions that you'll take if we have a disaster, whether it be man-made or natural disaster. We have some additional information on those in the back, some pamphlets and some handouts on those. The second one is the telephone alert system. Really great system. We've got almost 1,000 members signed up for that from the community now. We highly encourage you, if you're not signed up for that service, please see our folks in the back, get signed up for it. And soon, we will have a text message capability coming for that. So if you don't like getting those recorded phone calls, we're going to push out those same messages to you via text message. That way, if you're in a meeting or something, can't answer your phone, you'll still get the same message. And it's great to be sitting there early in the morning if school is delayed for a couple hours as we move into this winter weather season and get a text message so you know not to get the kids out there in the cold if the buses are delayed a couple hours. We have some sign-up forms in the back with Sergeant First Class Brown back there. He also has some information on the how to become storm and tsunami ready. We'll be certified here soon as a DoD installation overseas as storm ready and tsunami ready. And there's more information on that about how to better prepare for those emergencies. The support for the FRG meetings, this is something we offer up from DPTMS. We'll come out to your FRG meeting, to your unit, or whatever agency or meeting that you have, and I'll bring my subject matter experts out there to talk to your folks about how to better prepare for NEO, or OPSEC class, or any emergency from our emergency management specialists up there. They can tell them how to build an emergency kit and answer any questions they might have in the event of a NEO or any emergency might happen on the peninsula. So again, if you want us to come out there and do that, we'd be more than glad to do it. 2 November will be a busy day for us. We've got a couple of exercises going on. We'll have a post-wide mass cow exercise that will involve our medical clinic and a couple of the units on the installation as well as the Emergency Operations Center. Be transparent to the rest of the community. We'll be isolated over on one part of the post. That helps us test our medical capability to respond to an emergency. Also on that, the bullet right below that, you see our Humphreys American School and CDC evac exercise. It helps dogs meet their annual requirement of a 100% evacuation from the school. We assist them in doing that. The notifications will go out well in advance to all the parents to be sent out from the CDC and to the parents of if you have someone enrolled in the Humphreys American School. The kids will get loaded up, they'll walk over to the super gym, they'll get 100% accountability, and they'll march back. It helps them meet their annual requirement, and it helps teach the faculty, newly arrived faculty members that came in over the summer, of where their assembly areas are.
Are we getting questions?
Next slide. Very busy upcoming quarter, next couple of months. I'd like to point out the second bullet there, installation fall cleanup. We do that twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. The one for the fall is coming up 24 to 28 October. That's the time we set aside for the whole community to pitch in, do some community cleanup as well as the unit areas. And the supplies are available for that at the self-help store. Next bullet down, the trick-or-treating and Army Family Housing, 1730 to 1930. That's for every member of the community out there, even if you live off post and your children live off post. We'll have some tables set up outside the housing towers. So if you want to bring candy on post and set up at those tables and pass out candy, you can do that while your kids trick-or-treat there in the housing area. We anticipate the Super Park completion with the new playground and pavilions and everything to be finished the first week of November. Don't know the exact date, but we think it's going to be that first week. As soon as we nail down that date, we're going to push it out to the community so you folks will know that, and you can go over there and use that great facility. And just a reminder, the Super Gym will be closed 2 November to support the Humphreys American School and CDC exercise. And that last bullet down there, the Sergeant Major of the Army, Sergeant Major of the Army Chandler will be here. And he'll host a town hall type meeting in the Super Gym on 8 November. We encourage everyone to come out for that. Next slide. Have a lot of training holidays come up as we move into the holiday season. You see Veterans Day and the training holiday there. Also, Soldier Show, great event, happens once a year, and open to the entire community. We ask you to come out. That will be held at Super Jam. The next bullet down, we're trying to do something different. We partnered with the Quad A folks to do a chili cook-off, and we do a 5K run on the airfield. This year we're doing a little something different. We're going to open it up for the motorcycle riders to ride up there. So more information to follow on that. So if you're interested in that, we ask you to help us get the word out. It should be a great event. See Thanksgiving Day. Also on Thanksgiving Day, the DPACs will be open to all the family members. So if the family members want to go in and use the DPAC that day, they're welcome to do that. Dodge Teacher Work Day, that's the day they take off toward the end of the quarter so they can get their report cards, all that stuff together. So that'll be a teacher work day, but no school for students that day on the 4th of November. And we have our community holiday tree lighting ceremony at Transformation Park on the 5th of December. And the designated USFK approved holiday schedule for soldiers, 19 to 30 December. Subject to your questions, I'll be followed by Mr. Don Clayton, MWR Director.
Don, just 1 minute. For those of you that are new, let me explain again how we do this. If you've got a question, we ask you to write it down, including your name, and then just raise the card up, and one of the ushers will come by and grab it from you. If you need a card, raise your hand, we'll bring you one. That way we can capture all your questions with your name if we need to get back with you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to highlight a few of the items rather than try to talk to you about each and every one of those. There's too much stuff to talk about in the time we have. First thing I want to mention to you is kids on site. We've got child care provided at the Super Gym. Generally, it starts around 8:15 or 8:30 and goes on to 11:45, and then we have another session in the afternoon that starts around 4:45, 4:30 in there, 7:45. Kind of depends on what classes are being offered that day. But it's starting to pick up. I just called Ms. Smith, the CYS coordinator, and she told me on the way over here that they're starting to have more and more kids in there. Afternoons are still a little bit slow, but the mornings are kind of starting to pick up. So I hope it works kind of like a lot of businesses do. It takes a while for word to get out, and then when it finally does, it starts to roll. Costs, we charge by the 15 minutes. So if your charge starts when you get there and you sign in, you can take about the 15 minutes. You don't have to pay for an hour or anything. Charges the same thing that we charge at the CDC, basically $4 an hour. You can buy a punch card at the CDC, and then you can get 60 15-minute punches at Parent Central there at the CDC for $60. The next event I want to mention is on the 21st of October. It's a breast cancer walk being held at Zephyr Track at 1800. We just want to make sure that we do our part to bring awareness to breast cancer and get the community to participate in that with us as much as we can. Let's see, the next item I want to mention is on the 28th of Spooky Hollow. We had originally thought that we would have this on October evening 31st, and we got smart about that and realized that there's some other stuff going on that night that needs to kind of take precedence, so we moved it to Friday the 28th. We've got a pumpkin decorating contest designed for FRGs, youth groups, and private organizations, as well as an adult division of the costume contest, which interests me quite a bit. I'll have to put on my special Halloween fair for that night. We'll also have a unit booth decorating contest, and where we award unit funds to the top 5 booths. And this is the best community Halloween party that you'll find anywhere in the Army. You can find that mentioned, by the way, special mention of that in the Happenings magazine on pages 8 and 9. The next thing on this first slide that I want to mention is the Family of the Year recognition ceremony on the 5th, at the CAC, November 5th, excuse me, at the CAC at 17:30. And we'll be recognizing the most outstanding families in a special ceremony here at the CAC. And plan to come out and celebrate that with us and show these great families how much we appreciate them. Next slide, please. Mark mentioned the chili cook-off. I want to give my plug to that too. I think we've got some good coordination going on with 2CAB, and I think we're going to team up and put on a little bit better event than what we did last year. The chili cook-off is, I'll just mention that because Mark mentioned the run, I believe, and the motorcycle ride. The chili cook-off has a whole variety of different award categories that you can participate in. So make sure you come out and join us on that day. If you don't want to cook chili, just come out and eat some and enjoy the run, whatever you'd like to do on that day. And again, that's the 19th. 24th, I want to mention on the 24th, around the 24th, leading up to that date, we've got turkey dinners that we're preparing at Tommy D, so we can make the whole meal for you. You can come down there and order yourself a meal. You don't have to do any cooking. Pretty much all the traditional stuff that you'd like for your Halloween meal, make that easy for Mom. And just get a hold of Tommy D's and they'll take care of that for you, make a reservation, make the meal easy. And on the 27th, I mentioned the MWR Holiday Crafts Bazaar here at the CAC. We sell you personal crafts, and tables are $5 each. And then moving into December, the 5th, December 5th, the holiday season kickoff, Transformation Park. We will have the community Christmas tree lighting. Of course, Santa will be there, and we'll light the tree. After Santa's arrival and the tree's all lit and everything's looking good, we'll have everybody come to the CAC for cookies and candies and announcement of the Christmas tree lighting winners. Let's see, and then on the 31st, New Year's Eve, we're going to have a gourmet dining meal at Alaska Mining, a family New Year's Eve party at the Strike Zone, after New Year's party at Tommy D's. So we pretty much got something for everyone on New Year's Eve. Next slide, please. I just want to mention on this, all those events are up there for you to look at. I just want to make a couple of special announcements. I wanted to offer my congratulations to Christine May Hills, who was the winner of the Area 3 Rising Star winner. She's now one of 12 semifinalists that's going to that will appear in the Rising Star Championships. That'll be featured on the Pentagon Channel in December. You'll be able to watch that happen, and they'll give you directions on there how to go online and vote for her. So remember to check that out and go online and give her your vote. I want to also mention congratulations to the 194th CSSB runner-up in the Army, Korea Army Soccer Championships. We have a brochure that has pretty much all these events in it that I just mentioned to you at the back, on the back table, and Mike Mooney's back there to straighten out anything that I might have dorked up here. So, any of your questions, I'd like to turn it over to Derek Paul. Yes.
Yeah, one more time if I can. All of these slides you see here are posted on the Humphreys webpage and on our Facebook. And as we get into open discussion with questions and answers, all of those questions we posted and the answers provided, give us this interim answer within 7 days of receiving.
Good evening, I'm Derek Hall from the Directorate of Emergency Services. I'd like to start off with our office closures. Pass and ID, e-biz, vehicle registration, and arrest control offices are closed on U.S. and training holidays. 4 days in November, 2 in December, and 4 days in January. The arrest control hours of operation, 10 to 12:30 and 14:30 to 1600, Monday through Friday. This next slide refers to the main gate improvements that are underway right now. This will last through 25 November. But the dates that you need to mark on your calendar are 10 through 14 November. 10 November, Monday, the gate will be closed at 9 a.m. And the gate won't reopen until 5 a.m. Friday, 14 November. So the main gate will be closed that week. The quarry gate is open Monday through Friday, 05:30 to 18:30. And I have a map here in the back, and this is also posted on Facebook. And this will show you how to get to the quarry gate. The CPS gate will also be open. They'll be open 24 hours, but during rush hour period, we recommend that you use the Corey gate to access the post. Next slide. Fire extinguisher maintenance, that's at building 421. That's the Marsh Main Fire Station next to the PX. Expected 2 to 3 day turnaround time depending on the quantity of fire extinguishers. This Saturday from 12 to 1600 hours. That's this Saturday at the commissary parking lot. The fire department will be hosting the final day of Fire Prevention Week. Last week it was canceled due to the weather, so this week we have a better weather prediction. So at the commissary parking lot this Saturday, they'll set up the bounce house, fire safety training trailer, grilling hot dogs, and they'll perform fire demonstrations. For 911 calls, I have this magnet in the back. This is the number that you call for 911 with your cell phone or commercial line, on post or off post. 031-690-7911. That's our 911 line. Otherwise, if you're using a DSN, the number is 911, and that dials to our emergency center. Need to know your off-post Korean address. You need to know your address off-post. That way you can articulate to us where you live, where you're at. Same goes for on-post, your barracks number. Where are you? We need to know where you're at. The next slide depicts the parking that's available at Zeckler Station, specifically for next week's Spooky Hollow event. We recommend that you carpool with friends and family to get to this event. Once parking in front of the gym, Zeckler Station Gym and Pizza Hut is full, all event traffic will be directed to the parking next to the miniature golf shown in purple near the bottom right. And with that, I'll turn it over to the medical clinic.
Good evening, Major Davidson, Humphreys Clinic Commander. Just first, we'll start with the clinic closures. On 2 November, the clinic's participating in the mass Cal exercise, and we'll have no scheduled appointments. We'll go ahead and see the sick call soldiers from all 2 Cab and Garrison. We'll be done with that about between 9 and 9:30, and then we'll be able to actually participate in the mass Cal exercise. On November 10th and 11th is Veterans Day and Training Holiday. We'll be closed for scheduled appointments. However, as you know, our after-hours clinic never closes, and our TRICARE van will also be available if you have a scheduled appointment at Don Cook that day as well. So, next slide, please. We've been working hard on this. This is kind of a good news story about the PCM continuity, and PCM stands for Primary Care Manager. And looking in the audience, I can actually see some of my actual patients sitting out there. And the good thing about this is it builds continuity of care. And this summer when we started this program, 15% of the people actually presenting to the clinic saw the same doctor, same PA, and now this week we're over 70%. So over 70% of people actually entering our clinic sees the same provider. So that's excellent news. The only time you will not see your primary care provider is, like, for example, when Dr. Sikowski, who's our pediatrician, is on leave. You'll be scheduled potentially to see Lieutenant Colonel Roberts, who's our other pediatrician, so we'll never have a void when your PCM is actually absent. So it's actually a good news story. And that we really appreciate the community, because we've asked them a lot of times to go up to TRICARE, change their PCM, all this other stuff, and we do get that frustration, but it has paid off in the community. Next slide, please. And just a brief little synopsis on what it means for access to care. Just understand, when you call to make an appointment on the phone, we do kind of a mini triage on the phone to see whether or not you have an acute, routine, or well issue, and you can actually see that. But the bottom line is, if you want to talk to your PCM, you can actually put in a telephone consult, and usually we answer them within 24 to 72 hours. Most of us answer them within 24 hours to answer your questions, and we can actually walk you in to see you if you need to be taken care of right away. Next slide, please. And then also, again, just a quick reminder that, you know, we run an after-hours clinic. We do not have a acute care clinic after hours. We run that during the day because we have the privilege of actually having an emergency room physician in our midst. But after hours, we have a after-hours clinic. So that just means that you guys need to know where the nearest emergency room is. If you want to see an American emergency room physician after hours, drive to Osan Emergency Room. You can be seen there. If you want to, the closest is actually Good Morning, and we can facilitate transport. However, if you truly have a 911 emergency on base, what will happen is 911 will be contacted, we'll dispatch a vehicle to the scene on base and take you to the nearest emergency room. And then if it happens off base, you'll call 119, and then a Korean ambulance will take you to the nearest emergency room. Just keep that in mind in case you truly have an emergency. It'll help save time. Next slide, please. Mark your calendars, October 29th. We're going to go ahead and run a flu campaign vaccine. And that'll be between 8 and 1,500. And we're going to go ahead and vaccinate all the family members, kids, and retirees, and knock out everybody that has not gotten their vaccinations, with the exception of the bottom category. Once we vaccinate all soldiers, family members, TRICARE beneficiaries, then we'll actually put out another date that will vaccinate the bottom category. Next slide, please. This, I just need your help on, please. We see about between 800 and 1,000 patients come through our clinic every single week. So that's about 4,000 every month. And this last month, we only had about 70 completed surveys returned to us. So I think as a community, we can do much better than that. And if we can just promote that, we actually get money that can be given back to our community, back to our staff, if we actually turn in these surveys that you actually get in the mail. So I just encourage you, if you do get a survey in the mail or online, please fill out the survey. Pending your questions, I'll be followed by a public affairs officer.
Let me make one clarification if I can. Derek told you about the main gate being closed. It's actually closing at 0900 hours on Thursday, the 10th of November, and reopens on Monday at 05.
Good evening, my name is Ed Johnson with Public Affairs, and I just want to talk briefly about the various community news resources we have available for you online. And they fall primarily into three categories. The first being the Morning Call newspaper, which is news, and you can download the electronic version of that at scribd.com/morningcallnews. That's a new URL for the newspaper, and so if you haven't been there, I'd encourage you to check it out. It's a great resource for downloading or sharing the newspaper with your friends, family, or coworkers. The second category is the conversation, and that's found at Facebook. I believe this week we probably will surpass the 3,000 fan mark on Facebook, and that means fully 1/3 of this community is actively engaged in communicating on Facebook. And if you're not there, I would encourage you to join that conversation. It's really your first line of where you can get information to answer your questions. I know Colonel Moore and members of his staff are actively involved in responding to questions and concerns that are posted on Facebook. And you can find that by searching Facebook for Camp Humphreys or at the URL posted on the screen. And then lastly, we use Flickr in public affairs to share our photos, the official images that we take at award ceremonies or official activities around the Garrison. And so if you'd like to download high-res versions of those photographs or share them with your friends and family, this is a great resource for you to search through our entire archive, which contains thousands of images, and share those as you see fit. Pending your questions, I will be followed by the chaplain.
Good evening. My name is Michael Brady. I'm the Deputy Garrison Chaplain for Humphreys. We're entering the biggest time of the year, starting with the Operation Helping Hands, supporting the soldiers that are in need. This Friday, Thursday and Friday, we'll be sending out the memorandum of instructions to the sergeant majors and giving the instructions of how this program will work to support their soldiers. The sergeant major will take a list of names of soldiers that are in need, and then bring those up to the Garrison Chaplain's office. I'll make the food vouchers, and then on the 18th to the 22nd of November, those soldiers will be able to go to the commissary and shop for their Thanksgiving needs. They'll be followed by on the 23rd and on the 13th of November. We have 2 designated offerings that we're supporting the community in our chapel services. The community, if you'd like to participate, are welcome to donate to the Boy Scouts on the 23rd of October. And then for those that want to support the soldiers with operating company fans, they're welcome to support on the 13th of November. Our combined worship services for this year for Thanksgiving and Christmas will be on the 22nd in November and then December 24th. The combined services will be for the Protestant services. There will be Catholic masses during those time frames as well. And then on the 31st of December, they'll be celebrating Mass at 2000, followed by the celebration of community service at that time as well. So, pending your questions, I'll be followed by USO.
Good evening. Just want to let you know, in case you haven't been to the USO yet, we have a lot to offer. We always have free coffee and drinks. We have comfortable reclining chairs. We have 7 computers with webcams. You can make calls to the US for free on our Skype phone. And of course, we have a big screen TV to watch TV. We also have a new gaming area, so those who like Wii or Xbox, we have a little section for that. Some of our regular programs are, you might have heard of United Through Reading. A lot of people are more familiar with this program when they're deployed, but we do have it here in Korea. Right in our center, we have it. Basically, you read and record a book to your child, and the book, DVD, postage is all paid for. All you do is just come over and read Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5:30, or if you can't come to us, we'll bring it out to your unit. So we're actually taking this out on October 25th to a unit, since they requested us to come out. So if you want us to come out with the holidays coming up, we just made a book order for Christmas books. So give us a call, we can bring it out to your unit. We also have a program called Java Buzz Donut Drop. Just come to the USO, fill out a form, put it into a box. We pick one winner a month, we call you and say, hey, you're the winner for coffee, donuts, and hot cocoa, and we bring it to your office. So, this is all free. We have also our famous lunchbox. USO lunchbox is every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. We provide free lunch for soldiers and their families, and this is at the USO starting at 11:30 until the food runs out. Next Wednesday, we will have free pizza, chips, and drinks, and pizza is the most popular one. We have served 110 soldiers in 20 minutes with pizza. So it's very popular. So come early. We will be having, USO and Tommy D's will be hosting a Halloween party for adults. It's called Nightmare on Humphreys, and it will be at Tommy D's on Friday, October 28th. So after you go to Spooky Hollow, come on over, get dressed up, come out over to Tommy D's for a free party. We'll have Texas Hold'em. We're going to have contests like Best Dressed and prizes. So this is free at Tommy D's. In November, we will have Pancake Madness. Every Monday in November, you can come over and watch football and enjoy free pancakes at the USO starting at 9:30 in the morning. And then for Lunchbox in November, November 9th, we're going to have free chicken and rice. That went over pretty well a couple months ago, so we're going to do it again. Free chicken and rice and drinks. And then on the 23rd, we will have a free Thanksgiving meal at the USO. And this again starts at 11:30. Next slide, please. In December for our Lunchbox, we will have a free pre-Christmas meal on the 14th. We didn't want to do it on the 28th because everybody will be tired of Christmas meals, I think, ham and turkey, so we're going to do it before. So come on over for that, 11:30. Now again, this is open for soldiers, family members. We do have civilians coming and we don't turn anybody away, so anybody can come. We also do peninsula-wide. It's called Operation Christmas Cheer. So throughout the peninsula, everybody goes out, the USO staff and volunteers, we go out, we make up little Christmas treat bags, and we deliver it to everybody working on Christmas Eve. So in this case, this year, Christmas Eve, I believe, is on a Saturday. So I believe we'll be doing it like Friday, but I'm waiting for the call. But we might be coming out to your unit. And we have a job opening at the USO. It will be opening in early December. My current program coordinator is PCSing, so we have posted the job for the program coordinator. It's on the USO.org website, so if you know anybody interested, please have them apply, or they can stop in the USO if they have questions. I can tell them a little bit more about the job, but you must apply online at USO.org. And we will be doing interviews in early November, and we would like to hire the person early December. And please stay up to date with our events on Facebook. So if you're not friends with us on Facebook, we're on there all the time, USO Camp Humphreys. Any questions? I'll be followed by Mr. Pena from Exchange.
Again, if you've got any questions that you'd like Colonel Moore to respond to, just put them on a 3x5 card and raise your hand. One of the ushers will come by and pick it up from you.
All right, I'm Steve Penny with the Exchange. In October, we have a couple events going on. First, on the 21st at 5 o'clock, we'll have a Lego building contest at PX. Then on this weekend, the 21st through the 23rd, we're going to have a fall bazaar. We'll have some vendors out there so you can start looking for Christmas gifts. And then we'll have a Halloween contest at 4 o'clock on Saturday the 29th. Okay, so that takes care of October. For November, of course, we're gearing up for the Christmas. We're having a men's shopping night. These specials for that. It's from 6 to 8, which is Wednesday the 2nd. We'll have a studio, Platinum Portrait Studios. We'll do pre-sale the 15th through the 26th of November, and then they'll take pictures and select pictures on the 26th and 30th. And that portion of this is at the Osan training room because it's a larger area where they can take the pictures at. And on the 18th of November, it'll be ladies shopping night. So we're trying to set this up, coordination, give everybody a chance to come out and do their shopping on different evenings. Again in November, we're open Thanksgiving Day, just like last year. Most of our facilities will have regular hours on that day. Of course, the day after Thanksgiving sale will be open at 8 o'clock instead of 9. And another big sale on Saturday, of course. For December, we'll have our November and December calendars out soon, and we'll have a lot more events lined up in that. Please stop by the PX and pick those up. But in December, we'll have a Cannon Road Show, the 2nd and through the 4th of December. And we'll have a special coloring contest the 5th through the 16th, some great prizes. And then in our food court, we're going to have Pizza Hut's going to run a special. One large topping pizza for $9.99. That's on the 23rd of December only, and it's only from 2 to 4. And then again, it's one large topping pizza for $9.99 at Pizza Hut. And then Popeyes, we're going to have a $6.99 for 8 pieces, and that's on the 28th all day. And that's all I have, short and sweet.
It was short, thank you. Thanks for all the service providers who provided an update to us. We'll turn it over to Colonel Moore now. We've only got a few cards. You really haven't let this off the hook tonight. If you've got issues or comments, please get a card, fill it out to include your name. We can get back with you. And again, these will all be posted within 7 days. Although right now we have 3 questions to be posted tomorrow. Go ahead, boss.
Well, so how's everyone? Great. I left soccer to come over here. That was a lot of fun over there. Hey, while you're thinking about questions, let me just highlight a couple of things. You know, our travel office knows more about training holiday schedules than the J3 or G3. And in the happenings, I just wanted to point out to you, especially if you're fairly new to the community, every 4-day weekend that is on the calendar, the travel office will have trips scheduled. So if you're thinking about places you might want to get away to in November, because you've got 2 4-day weekends that month, I just glanced here, there are trips going to Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, etc. You know, it starts somewhere below $1,000 and ends somewhere just a little over $1,000 for those 4-day trips. So something to think about if you're looking for something different. And then some near-term things I wanted to point out to you because they're, for example, this coming weekend, few odds and ends. If you haven't been ziplining, that's a lot of fun, and we have a trip going to the zipline course out of Outdoor Rec. So if you're interested in that, you can still sign up for that. Boss, by the way, has a trip going out this Saturday to Everland, and the cost for that's $40. That's a phenomenal deal to get into the park and have transportation, etc. And we've opened that trip up to family members as well as married couples. And also on Saturday, ACS is hosting a baby shower for expectant moms. There's a lot of good conversation. That was wildly popular last time we did it because it's a good educational opportunity, a good chance to ask some questions. And then the following Saturday, let's see, there was one I circled there, right. There's another trip to Everland that Outdoor Rec is running for everyone. Again, great time to go because the weather's awesome and the Korean crowds are a little less intense this time of year. So if you haven't been to Everland and you want to go, sign up for one of those and we'll take you. Okay, I've got 3 cards here. I'll start with Colonel Barker's first because I can read it. The awesome, Colonel Barker says here, Quad A's raised $500 and would like to donate it to the American Cancer Society through the combined federal campaign in honor of Mrs. Arlene Crandall. Yeah, we can make that happen. So John, let's work that tomorrow back to Quad A so we can tell them how we can take that donation. Then, yeah, Jim. Thank you. Then we have here a question, Steve, about items in the sale flyer. This has come up before. Do we get all the items advertised in the sale flyer in our PX, even if in limited number, and if not, why? So I'll let you talk to that.
In the flyers that state, which BXs and PXs that are offered in the flyer, and it's based on size and demographics. So the answer is no, we don't get all that are on there. It'll tell you which ones pertain to that flyer. But if you do want an item, you can always, we can try to shuttle it in from OSON if it's left available. Because again, they're limited items. When they say one-time buy, it's a limited item and it goes pretty fast.
Okay, here's a question. Yeah, this is a good question, and one I'll apologize for up front. You'll know why after I read it. We've seen this on Facebook. We've seen this in a number of venues, so I think this is just to make sure we got the message. During one of our recent exercise announcements, someone was, we were experiencing a lot of reverberation for some reason, that we're getting feedback in the system. And one of the guys, in an intense moment, said to shut the effing door. And that went out over the system. And so I'll apologize to everyone in the audience for that happening. And I can't promise you on a stack of Bibles it'll never happen again. But our intention is that it would never happen again, or that it would have happened in the first place. And I apologize for that. There's a question here about the ATM and the commissary. I suppose that, we get a lot of questions about ATMs, and I may be somewhat prejudiced, predisposed to saying that the ATMs here are awfully convenient. I've been at a lot of installations where there are bigger installations with fewer ATMs, and here at Humphreys, the ATM is, I'd say, about a minute, maybe 2 from the commissary. But if you'd like to expound on that, maybe I'm missing something. I'm not sure if the person who wrote that question is still in the room.
That was from Facebook, sir.
Okay.
Live.
Oh, good. And then this one is, why is the provider DFAC, where is the provider, doesn't stay open all the time? There are times, so the 194 CSSB runs the provider DFAC. That's the one on this side of the installation, just down the road. And so when they go to the field to train, they, on occasion, if they're going en masse, they will ask permission to close that dining facility, and we usually grant that, obviously, because their cook staff needs to train in field conditions as well. And we don't have the capability to swing other cooks most often to backfill the provider grill. So what we do is we shuttle soldiers to the other dining facilities. That's one case when they're closed. And then another case is we rotate dining facilities on the weekends. So there will be an occasional weekend when the Talon dining facility will be closed, or the Red Dragon, or the provider grill, so that we give the cooks the opportunity to have a weekend free. Because a lot like the soldiers that work at the post office that we sometimes take for granted, those folks are working every day of the week. And that's the reason why the provider grill will be closed sometimes. And I would like feedback, though, if we are not getting the word out and you're walking up to a closed door, that's unacceptable. I would hope that never happens, but I know that it does. So if there's a weakness in our communications, then we need to fix that. I'd like to hear your feedback about that. Yes, Dave. That'll be hard to keep anonymous. I'm sorry for calling you out. Yes, the Howell family would like to thank Outdoor Rec for their new program to rent bounce houses for off-post families. Yeah, that's, you know, so many things are more complicated than you'd like to think, but, so the reason why it took a while, after we realized we should be doing that, is that those things weigh a ton. I'm exaggerating, but they weigh hundreds of pounds. And we realized we didn't have the right vehicle to haul that thing off post and offload it and pick it back up, et cetera, et cetera. So we got that all sorted out, and you'll be able to rent those wherever you're having a party, which I think is a good thing. So Dave, something for soldiers re-entering post or curfew. I wish Colonel Bartlett had written this. His printing is so quick. Is there any way to provide a warming area for soldiers returning to the walk-through curfew when waiting for the buses? Well, yes. You'll notice there's a building there. And I struggle how to explain this. Our good intentions and behavior were not matching up. And that building was built to answer that. What happened, though, is that building turned into a vomitory. And so we closed it. And it's probably time to take another look at the policies and the controls we have in place to keep the behavior with an acceptable in a band of acceptability. At the end of curfew, things get a little rough around the edges. And so that's why that building's closed right now. But it's heated, it's cool. But it was cool until somebody had a disagreement with the air conditioner. But yeah, thanks for bringing that to my attention. It's one of those things, it is that time of year, and we need to revisit that. So we'll take that on. No problem. Good questions so far. Only had to say no to the commissary ATM. But not a bad question. Just, we've got to balance our resources with with convenience. So let's take some questions if there are any. Maybe you're liking a pen or a piece of paper, and we'll take questions from the audience if there are any out there remaining.
If you'll raise your hand, we will bring you a microphone. Hey, Mold, who won?
It was tie.
Good, that's a good end. Yeah, we have a neat opportunity this Saturday for the 11 and 12-year-old, I think it is, soccer players. We were able to enroll in this Friendship Cup that's going to be held at the Suwon World Cup Stadium on Saturday. So all of our young kids will get to go play in that stadium on that awesome turf against some Korean teams and from around the country, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. They'll be up there all day Saturday. What else? All right, so let me give you just a couple of things to think about, because we've seen a lot of conversation on Facebook about the gates and the waiting time. A couple of data points. If you were rolling back time 2 years ago today, we had 3,660 vehicles registered at Humphreys. Today we have just shy of 6,000. So that's not quite double, but it's nearly double. And we have essentially the same roads, and we have obviously the same gates. And so what's happening now is the progress that's coming to us through construction is starting to bite a little bit. You can feel it now. And what's happening outside the CPX gate, if you commute from the south side of Post, you're noticing a lot more backups in the morning. And the reason why is because not only do we have more cars coming to Post now, but we have a brand new wastewater treatment plant being built right outside the gate for Humphreys, which requires hundreds of workers. And we have just started the expansion of that road between the gate and Highway 45 to take it from a 2-lane trail to a 4-lane road. And so all that's coming together with the additional hundreds of trucks that are coming in every morning, because as we start construction on Post for a new building, that just adds more of a load, right, at the CPX gate where those guys have to check in for the day. And in the past couple of weeks, we've sort of reached a tipping point. Now we're really backing up traffic. So what we've been telling people, or at least asking people to do, is to consider commuting into Humphreys through the quarry gate in the mornings, or altering your arrival time so that you're coming in a little bit earlier. And I know for those of you that pay attention to when you get to work in the morning, that might be, you know, a little bit of a twist. Why should I come to work 15 or 20 minutes earlier? Well, in the long run, it may save you time, because that traffic backup's not starting until about 7:30-ish or so, and if you get there before that, you sail right in. After that, though, you're kind of stuck somewhere between the gate and Highway 45. So I just wanted to share that with you. So we're adding an exit lane to the main gate to help people get out faster at night. And when the CPX work is done, the gate work is done, we'll have a lot better traffic flow there, but the price of progress is being borne by all of us right now. It's tough to get in the morning from the south side of Post, there's no doubt about it. Getting in on the north side of Post is still pretty easy. Getting out on the north side of Post at night is pretty tough. So that's the story about traffic, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, because we have some other construction starts on Post that will require more contractors to come in on the mornings. So what else? Yes, sir.
Sir, I don't know about that gate, or is there any thought about adjusting the times for the quarry gate? It was difficult to get out.
Yeah. We're thinking.
Colonel Moore, you want to repeat the question?
Yeah, Lieutenant Redmond asked about the time, if we're looking at the time we're closing the quarry gate. Yeah, we are. It's like when we're doing the main gate work, the real tough work over Veterans Day weekend, we'll have the CPX gate open 24 hours. The quarry gate, don't know. I'm still figuring out how to balance manpower on the gates before I commit to that. What I really would like to see is the demand for it. You know, right now the quarry gate's kind of a sleepy spot, and I'm hoping that people figure out that, you know, that little detour around. I know it takes about 5-7 minutes more, but it's worth it to come all the way around. And if we get to the point where we need to, we will.